It's Musings time. It's the word on Musings. As seminal. Kindly feel free to subscribe, comment, share, like, and click the notification bell for more videos. Musings.
Hello everyone, you're welcome to Musings with the Found Lost Sheep. My name is Eunice. You can also call me the Found Lost Sheep. Remember, I promised you guys, no, it wasn't here, but on other platforms, I told our cherished viewers that we're going to be having movie reviews on Musings. Yeah, movie reviews. I am such a fan of movies. I just love arts, even though I didn't study it in school, but I'm naturally an arts enthusiast, yeah, and an arts material. It comes naturally to me by God's grace. And I love movies because they impact me a lot. For a while before I accepted Christ or decided to walk with Christ, I used to listen to a lot of music, watch a lot of movies, and they impacted me a lot in a negative way. There was one deacon in my school. I want to mention his name, but the full name is not coming. He introduced me to Mount Zion movies. He actually asked me to bring a pen drive. I went. He pulled loads and loads of movies, and the movies that actually helped me navigate my life around campus, to know about some of the monsters that we can find on campus. Okay, among brethren, among students, among lecturers, among TAs, and all of the people that make up the university community. So he really helped me a lot. I really acknowledge him. I reached out to him on Facebook recently though. So I know he has his flowers already. Yeah, so just a reminder, the movie is entitled 4 Days Late. 4 Days Late, and the channel name, if I remember clearly, is His Glory RTF. His Glory RTF. I'll check and put the right name right here, and then share the link in the description as well, so that you can go and watch it. I want us to review it, but you need to watch it before we do this review. So please head right on to their YouTube channel. It has the likes of Pastor Kayode Owojori. It has one Tolulope, I've forgotten the surname, like interesting characters, and it's very interesting. I don't want to just you in any way. Just go watch it, but the title is 4 Days Late. And let's get back here. Maybe I'll give you snippets in between, or maybe around somewhere in this video you just see snippets, and I don't know, while watching it, it just dawned on me. I've been thinking about it's been dropping in my heart slowly about movie reviews and all of that, but let's pray God gives us energy and time for that. That's why we're here. So today, before we elongate this video, we're going to be discussing a very interesting topic. It is on names and their meanings. Have you ever thought about your name before? Like, what is the meaning of your name? What ignited this? I think I was thinking about somebody else's name, and I was thinking about the impact, and I was looking at the person's life and what they've been doing, and it's like it's gotten to a point they want to veer away from the essence of their name. So I was just thinking, could it be that is it because they are ignoring the essence of their name that whatever they are facing? So you know, anything we think about on Musings, we take it to God in prayer, to the Bible, so that we get the biblical perspective of what God is saying on such matters. So it really bothered me. Anyway, my name Eunice means good victory. It is of Greek origin, and I'm not here to talk about me, but the meaning is good victory. So now I think about my life and I'm like, if I have victory and it's not good, it means that's not my end. The Bible says that my end shall be glorious. So until I see glorious glory, that is not my end. So getting right into today's topic, what do you think are names? What do you think are names? Do you think they are mere identities? What do you think? What do you think about names before we get into any notes I have for us today? Put it in the comment section. What do you think about names? Do you think names have impact on people's lives? Do you think we can just randomly name our kids? Do you think that you can just name your kid after just anybody? There are some traditions that require that you name your child after maybe your father, your mother. Should you name them after them, regardless whatever impact they've had in your life? What do you think? Or we should just listen to names that bring Gen Z bells? Like somebody, there are a lot of people who have changed their names. I don't know if you are a culprit. Your mom and dad gave you the name that they didn't. Maybe they prayed. Maybe they didn't. Maybe whatever inspired them. Maybe it was sweet to their sense of hearing. I don't know. But then they give you the name. They are praying for maybe Abnamansa, but the angels come and they are meeting Blueberry Bengal Nightingale, some funny name. So names really have influence. Let's get right into it. Names and their meanings and the essence or impact on a person's life. Names, they are not just labels. Like God called Adam. Okay, that's the first instance of naming actually in the Bible. God told Adam to name all the things that he had created, and the guy just started, okay, you, the way I look at you, stomach looks like that, da, da, da. Let's give you lion, you will be called antelope, you will be called what, dog, you will be called cat, you'll be called this, you'll be called that. Then when it got to the time that God saw that he was alone and brought him a partner, listen to what he said. He said, indeed, this is the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh, and she shall be called woman. There was an impact that Adam had before he gave the name to the woman. It's because he felt that connection that this woman was actually made out of a bone of my rib. That's why he gave the name. So, names don't just come about. There were many instances in the Bible where God had to change people's name in order to change their situation or bless them or advance their levels. We can talk of Abraham, who became Abraham. We can talk of Sarai, who became Sarah. And all of these names had their meanings. We had Jacob, which means deceiver, become Israel, like we know. So names really have an impact, and there should be a reason. Somebody just goes to school and pick a dangerous name to name themselves. How can you call yourself Alpha and Omega? It's like you are seeking equality with God, and that is one act that calls for God's anger many times, because that is what the devil did. He tried to compare himself, and he saw himself being thrown out of heaven down here. So let's be mindful what names we give. So that's just an intro. We have so many other examples. We have Saul, who became Paul. That one, there's a controversy about it. One of my teachers when I was a kid told me that he didn't actually become Paul from Saul, but he had two different descents. Maybe we'll talk about that later after I've done my search. But he didn't actually become Paul. He was Saul and he was Paul, but both names weighed or had different identities or had different impacts on him. I think that is a cue for us to find out the difference. What does Paul and Saul, what's the difference, how it came about? That's what he told me. I'm yet to find out though. So that was just by the way. If you have any idea, you can also share it in the comment section. So we've said that names are not labels, that in the Bible, the names reveal identity, destiny, and purpose. Every name reveals an identity first, an identity, who you are, where you are headed, that is destiny, and what you do while headed to that destination. Okay, that is your purpose. In Hebrew culture, a name was more than what you answered to. So you see what I was talking about. It carried the very essence of one's being. So the name that you are given, it talks about your destiny, your purpose. It talks about your identity, your very essence, your very being. All right. Then Adam, for example, his name meant man, and then man means from the earth. All right, so it reflects both his origin, where he's coming from the earth, and then his assignment, what he was assigned to do, to rule over the earth from which he was formed. So see, Adam was made out of the earth so that he could rule over the earth, And one time I was having my quiet time. I don't know if you've been on this channel for long. Realized that Moses was drawn out of water because one day he had to rule over the sea, the water. That's how come he was able to part the Red Sea for the Israelites to go through. So sometimes what you are drawn from is where God is calling you to be a champion over in the future. There is also Eve, whose name means mother of all the living. Mother of all living. Even before she bore her child, alright, even before she ever conceived or bore a child, the name spoke of a divine assignment that she was going to be the mother of all living. Even though there were living creatures, she was going to bring forth living humans like herself of her kind. So the name prophesied into her destiny. Alright, there is also names being prophetic. Like I said, they carry declarations. It's either a blessing or a burden, and it can shape your life. Alright, I'm trying to think of a name that burdened someone in the Bible. Jabez, because she was in so much pain. And I think there was also Benjamin, whose name was initially Benoni, because the mom gave birth to him in so much pain, but the dad decided that no, that cannot be the destiny of my child. So who was it? Had to take the boy's destiny. Like, he knew who his son was. He said, no, he's not going to be called Benoni, he's going to be called Benjamin. And in the same way, Jabez also said, no, God, change my name, rewrite my story, change my destiny. Because of the name that the mom gave him, his life was full of pain. But when he shook himself off a bit and then asked the Lord to bring changes, there was actually a lot of changes that glorified the Lord. Even names of places, like where Mephibosheth was, like Lodibar, it was a dejected region. Who will be even thinking about the dejected region? Sorry. So names are very, very, very important, and they carry destinies, and they are very prophetic. Will they carry blessings? Okay, I was talking about that it can shape one's life. And that's why God sometimes, like I said, renames them. Abram, meant exalted father, and now he became Abraham, which is the father of many nations. So he says you will not just be exalted, you will be father to many nations. And when the Bible talks about nations, it's not just about countries, but it's about actually individuals. And he said that your descendants will be like the sand of the sea, the stars in the sky, and they are innumerable. So literally, nations as in nations goes for this very explanation. Sarai became Sarah, which means princess of nations. Jacob, which meant supplanter or deceiver, like I've spoken about, was also renamed Israel, which means one who wrestles with God and prevails. That was because he had a fight with the Lord in the night at Bethel, and then he wrestled, and then he prevailed, all right, with an angel. And then he said, what is your name? He mentioned this name, he said Jacob Deceiver. Then there was a need for change because God was going to bless him. All right, so that's enough about the identity, the purpose, and the identity, purpose, and then the destination or the destiny that names come with. So each time the new name marks a turning point in a person's life for a divine upgrade in one's identity and then in one's purpose. Go for a short break and get back. We'll get into the impact of names on one's life. Stay tuned.
How you feeling lonely and rejected? Do you need a friend to rely on?
It's Musings time. It's the word of Musings. As seminal. Kindly feel free to subscribe, comment, share, like, and click the notification bell